All right, so this is potentially the very last game of the tournament because this is going to be the grand championship here between Markus and Nolagold. And you'll notice when we get started in the game here, we do have the L next to the name of Nolagold. That means he was from the loser's bracket. So if he wins, then we have actually another game. That's why I say this might be the last game. If Nolagold wins, we have another. If Markus wins, that's it. We got no more. That's it. We call it. Markus is the champion. So we'll see how this turns out. And again, this is casted and brought to you guys by Casanova and Blevins, the amazing counterpart casting duo to myself and Boulevard, as well as Gems and Sparkling Iced Tea throughout this event. Casanova and Blevins did all of day too. So if you want more information on them, all their stuff is going to be in the description below, all their good social media links and whatnot. But without further ado, we have potentially the first game of the Grand Championship between Nolagold and Markus.
Yeah, they've been playing amazing so far. We felt like the first time around, I predicted 2-1 win for Markus. I think I'm going to stick with my prediction going into the final, Blevins, from the winners final. I think that Marcus's lineup does do quite well against Nolagold, and so I'm going to give it the 2-1 once again over to Markus. Do you have a prediction for this final? Which way do you think it's going to go?
I mean, it's really tough to pick the losers bracket side as the winner of the tournament, but I'm going for it. Let's go, NA. Get the pug pleases in chat for NA. It's going to be Nolagold with the bracket reset and the dub in the end. That's my prediction, at least.
Yeah, Nola gonna have to try and get the bracket reset and then win once more. He's got to win 2 sets over Markus. My prediction is that it's gonna end here 2-1. Markus gonna take it in the first set, but we'll see if that's how it turns out. It's gonna be Nolagold on the Swain TF going up against War Mother's Control from Markus. Gonna be a bit of a banger to close things out for the day.
Yeah, and we'll see. Is Nolagold still just saying, I don't care about Lee Sin. Let me just play. I'll beat it every time. I don't care. Or did he actually ban it this time? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see on the bans. I'm very curious if Nola decided to change the strategy up, if he felt like it was something he did wrong in the bans, or if he thinks, hey, I just need to draw better, to play a little better, and I'll be able to find the win next time around. And well, this is an aggressive start for Nolagold going into the War Mother's deck, but will he get greedy playing into Avalanche, or is he going to go for the open? It's going to be the open.
Goes for the open, sniffs out that Avalanche, which of course Markus does have. Can't be too upset about that. Gets to develop a petty officer afterwards, or could go for something like a Twisted Fate blue card. Could and next turn is even going to have the Jack the Winner, which is again even more pressure.
Yeah, Jack can provide a lot of pressure going into Markus here. He's going to be able to continue to pressure that life total with those Sleep with the Fishes on every turn, or he can just try and go extra wide with the Petty Officer and the House Spider. Can go pretty much a full board of units to try and just get around this Trundle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not a... It is an interesting choice to be made because obviously Jack the Winner technically can block Trundle. So Nola, I don't know if Nola really cares. The Trundle attack is not the problem. It's the Trundle being able to block, which is really annoying.
Right.
So yeah, I'm wondering, does Nola just want to go wide here? And it looks like he does.
It's gonna go wide Peepo Smork as he gets as many units as he can onto the board to try and get around this troll. Expect the House Spider as well, and once again, we'll likely see something like an open attack coming from Nola, but the overall threat of this board is actually not an insane amount of damage. It's not incredibly immense, but it does set up to try and find the rest of the finishers with the Rex, with the Jack the Winner, and with the Leviathan that he has available.
Yeah, it's right now, if Markus wanted to block maximum, it's threatening 6 damage. Of course, there is the Unspeakable Horror, which is, effectively gaining an additional 2. So it's really not super scary if you're Markus. But like you said, those cards like the Leviathan, like the Jack the Winner, like the Rex eventually, those are going to be able to get those. Like, this deck has the ability to punch through those last points of damage.
Yeah, it would be interesting if Nola decides to develop here instead. It's 2 avalanches in the deck. Does he think that the second one is there, or does he think he could get a little bit extra with something like the Zap Spray Fin on this turn? Because Zap would be able to set up Twisted Fate to level up with Twisted Fate's spell being played on this turn as well. That would level at the start of the next turn. I'm wondering if that's something he's considering, or maybe even just going open attack first and then still looking for that potential play.
Yeah, does not want to put the Twisted Fate in harm's way. Okay, Troll Chant coming out. Did he just take an extra damage for no reason? Am I missing something? Couldn't he have just flipped those blocks and flipped the Troll Chant and done an additional damage? Or saved an additional point of life?
Potentially so. It is pretty late for Markus at this point, and maybe that's the fatigue.
It's late
is
for me
catching
too,
up
so
to
maybe
him.
I'm just wrong. Yeah, the other, of course, consideration that Nolagold is thinking about is the Ruination. Vengeance, of course, is always a possibility, though. You can't really... Developing or not developing doesn't do much there. And honestly, something like Jack the Winner makes a lot of sense, because if Markus is using if Markus is using his Ruination or even a Vengeance on a Jack the Winner, that's got to be a W from Nola, because it's a Vengeance that's not going on to a Leviathan.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not now. It very well might be a W for Nolagold.
Well, it's a
if that's
small
happening.
W. It's not the big W, but it is I think a small victory for sure.
Yeah, it's a lowercase W in the chat if the Vengeance goes on Jack the Winner, because it is going to open up the ability for him to play these big units, these big bombs to try and close out the game with Leviathan, with Riptide Rex, with at least some impunity. Now, of course, we do see the Ruination still available, and that should be able to still answer some of these threats. But here it is, Vengeance on Jack the Winner. Small W.
Yeah, and notably here, Markus has all 3 Tryndamirs in hand, which notably means, of course, War Mothers can't pull them unless he wants to commit a Battle Fury just raw, which honestly he might just do here. Of course, he can't do it yet, but he can commit a Tryndamere here potentially, and actually like turn the tables in terms of the aggression very quickly here.
Yeah, I mean, Markus can create maybe a 2-turn clock with Tryndamere Trundle on the board, Battle Fury being threatened. And yeah, that's terrifying. That's really scary for Nola. And well, that I think is going to have to be the game plan from Markus, considering what we see in his hand.
Yeah, also, this Trundle is going to behold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. It's going to be an 11-7 already.
Yep, that's going to be... I'm curious the reaction from Nola. Currently, absolutely no reaction to seeing that.
Yeah, Nola will pop off on the wins, and if something absolutely insane happens, he might, but he is very much in tournament mode right now. And, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Nola's background, he's a competitive Magic the Gathering player, has won major Magic the Gathering events, and in an in-person event, you really kind of have to keep those emotions to yourself. It's very like poker-esque, where you kind of have to keep your poker face. And I think I do this sometimes when I'm in the zone, even on ladder and no one's watching. Like, you get into this like very serious mode where you're not showing emotion just out of habit.
Yeah, and I mean, Nola just saying, okay, another day at the office, got to see how we get through this 11-7 Trundle. How am I going to find the win? He doesn't get the block. I don't think
Oh,
that's
that was a
devastating,
rope.
but that is a rope, and it doesn't seem like that's what he wanted to do.
No.
Might not be game losing. In fact, it's likely not game losing.
I think he would have wanted to block with the 1/1 last breath. Last breath, if only to get the card. And I mean, it feels 1.
Oh, he roped again. He didn't get to shuffle. He didn't get to level TF, and that actually
that
could
might
make a
be
big difference. Nola, you're roping once more, buddy. You've got to make a play.
Yeah, it's not great when the game is thinking that you DC'd. Yeah, that might just be game here. Was the pick a card actually going to threaten the level up?
Oh,
was
he
going
was
to level up?
by far leveling his DF.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal.
It's close to leveling without the pick a card.
Right. Yeah, and Grasp can easily come out if Markus wants to kill the Twisted Fate here. So might not be able to allow that. Might have to actually not even killing the Zap Spray Fin here.
Letting that through.
So
fairly interesting.
How does Tryndamere will level up in between Riptide Rex hits, right? So like Riptide Rex, if say 2 cannons hit the Tryndamere, it would die on the first one and then level up to do 2 damage on the leveled Tryndamere.
Yes.
I think. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's not even like a insane every single cannon hits Tryndamere Riptide Rex that kills Markus. Not that would happen because there's life gain anyway, but it's certainly not happening now.
No, and I'm wondering what is better. Is it Rex or Leviathan? It might just be Rex. Maybe you snipe Trundle and then somehow survive against the Tryndamere, but this does
It's
not
only 2
look
on Trundle, I think.
No, it is 3. He did get 3.
3.
He got the hits.
That's a start.
It's hard to see sometimes, but I believe it's the 2 on the right, and then the third one from the left is gonna hit Trundle.
Also, Phlox could kill the Trundle too, so it's not
right. Yeah, you are right.
Well, threaten to kill the Trundle because there is.
Well, maybe they can kill the Tryndamere then. Actually, is possible.
Again, threaten to kill the Tryndamere because those 2 Battle Furies are still lying in wait right now. I'm wondering, does Markus fire one off now? Does he fire off? Okay, just grasping the Twisted Fate. Makes sense.
Notably, if Twisted Fate was leveled, he could get a gold card and a red card here, which could be relevant alongside the plays of the Phlox onto the Tryndamere.
The Phlox are going to actually kill now, right?
They should, yeah, they will.
Double Phlox kills Tryndamere, so this is actually back kind of almost at parity.
Well, remember that both of those Battle Furies are actually Tryndameres.
Right.
But at least maybe Nola can survive. I mean, just playing Leviathan in response, you can sacrifice a Leviathan to not die.
Yeah. Okay, going upstairs with the unspeakable horror.
This is also a pick. Oh my god.
Wow.
No way. He actually hit the Doom Beast off the unspeakable horror that he was looking for. And
Wow.
Markus is going to take the game. And you know Nolagold's not happy about that one. He even had the Twisted Fate to answer the Tryndamere if it came down, so he didn't even need to sacrifice a Leviathan. He could just gold card, but instead, the Doom Beast found off the unspeakable horror. And well, the look on his face, on Nolagold's face, is that of unspeakable horror when that comes out, because the Doom Beast is going to take the game at the exact card needed by Markus to find that one, and he takes the 1-0 lead to kick things off in this grand final. He's trying to take it down quickly so that he can go to bed, as it is pretty late over in Europe right now.
Winning money, glory, fame, that's all one thing, but also winning bed is a pretty good consolation prize for sure, on top of all the other things. But yeah, I mean, you got to say it, right? The double rope from Nola did not help him there.
No,
he lost exactly to what was like 1 in 6 or 1 in 7 to get the Doom Beast, but still, like, the double rope did not do him any favors, put him into position to lose there. The Twisted Fate wasn't leveled up, wasn't great. But, you know, as a competitor, you got to just throw that away. You're going into the next game. All that matters is this upcoming game. Win this one, push it to a game 3, win the series, lather, rinse, repeat if you're Nola. But that's a tough one. That is a tough one to come off of emotionally.
Blev, that rope, he was planning to block the Trundle with anything, and one less damage that had been done to his face would have made all the difference. So realistically, that rope, yes, like you said, 1 in 6, 1 in 7, whatever it is on the unspeakable horror to actually pull that Doom Beast, doesn't matter. He could have survived had he been a little bit more efficient with time management. And it's tragic. It's tragic to see a player as great as Nolagold fall in a game to a mistake like that, one that wasn't him misplaying in what he played. It was mismanagement of time. And Markus capitalizes. Markus played a very clean game, very well done. He set himself up for the win, and he's able to take the punish over there, pick up the win. We're getting word Markus was taking a quick bathroom break, but will be back, and we'll have game 2 coming up. But do you think that Markus's remaining deck is going to be Lee Sin, or do you think it'll be Pirate Aggro?
I mean, Nola hasn't banned it at all in the times that we've seen, so why start now, right? It's worked at least somewhat up until now. It didn't work against Markus specifically before, but we'll see. Did he ban it, or did he not? He did not. The Lee Sin continuing to get no respect. This is, I want to say, it's close to a breakout performance for Lee Sin in general. I mean, just so many different lineups, playing at a high level here with Lee Sin. Oh, Nola, or maybe Markus saying that's the deck I banned.
Yeah,
maybe
it looks like a
miscue here.
So that means that did we see? We saw Ash Thresh. We saw the Zombie Ash actually lost to War Mothers in their first set. So it makes sense. Same ban strategy from Markus.
Right.
Fiora Shen's not here. They're going to figure that one out and then get that re-queued.
Yep, just a miscommunication there. But Cass, I want to bring up something. I don't know if you saw the chat a couple minutes ago, but it was going crazy with them spamming the NA equal to EU. It was crazy. The just amount of collaboration and love between the community coming together and holding hands in harmony in chat. You absolutely love to see it.
Just an absolute outstanding display of sportsmanship between North American and European fans within the chat. Just holding hands together, singing "Pug Please," and hearts
everyone can
all
come
around
together at a "Pug Please" in the chat. I mean, seriously, what can bring nations together like "Pug Please" spam in the chat?
All right, but here we go. We are going to get the correct decks queued up this time. It's going to be Zombie Ash versus the Lee Sin. Last time around, we saw it seemed like Zombie Ash would be quite good and be able to take the game, but the spell shield at the last moment able to figure that one out and find the victory. Now, Nolagold has another opportunity here. Looks like the Rhymefang Wolf is generally a decent response to Lee Sin if he has some freezes to back it up.
It is the perpetual rock in the shoe of the Lee Sin deck. It's just constantly annoying you. You kind of have to, take your shoe off every once in a while and empty it out. And then you see nothing happen, but you shook your shoe a bunch. It had to have come out, right, Cass? It can't still be in there. There's no possible way anything could still be in my shoe. I just shook it for like a minute. You put it back on, you take 5 steps, and there it is again. The Rhymefang Wolf still in your shoe, poking you in the bottom of your foot as you take a walk.
What an analogy, Blev.
We've passed the point where I have gone crazy. It's at a certain point in an event where I just start to go crazy, and we are here in the grand finals. And what better a time for me to lose my mind? Nolagold versus Markus in the grand finals of the Ascent of Targon Invitational.
Yeah, this has been a spectacular event so far. And Nola gonna be having to fight his way back against Markus. Already down a game, back against the wall after losing a set to Markus earlier on in the tournament. Once again, gonna have to get through this Lee Sin deck that has continually impressed us. It wasn't something we had originally thought was going to do as well as it has done. Especially, we were unimpressed with the decks that didn't have a secondary win condition, but it's been proved by Markus that you don't need it if you play the combo deck as cleanly as he does.
Yeah, I think a lot of the decks. I think there's multiple ways to play Lee Sin, so I don't want to take away from any side of it. But I do think that the version that Markus is running and the way that we've seen him pilot it has really shifted at least my perspective on it. It is not an aggro deck that can get extra damage with Lee Sin. It is absolutely a combo deck that has control elements and can be aggro-ish, right? Like, this is kind of a pretty aggressive draw, but you're never planning to do this. You're able to, but you're never planning to. And you're playing it so much more like a combo deck, going for the combo kill, really trying to set that up. And I think that is one of the stronger ways to play Lee Sin.
Yeah, and we talk about this, but there's a lot of early aggression already coming out from the Lee Sin deck as we mention it. But I agree with you. It is very much a combo deck. It's not playing around this aggro strategy most of the time. I think it'll be very rare if it finds a game in this fashion. But so far, starting out a little aggressive.
Yeah, when the mentor can turn a Eye of the Dragon into a Bull Elnuk, I think you're in a pretty aggressive spot, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's incredibly good. And now it's that Bull Elnuk is just going to keep summoning these Dragon Legs every single turn.
Yeah, it's really tough. Again, of course, Nola cares not of your life gain. Doesn't matter. You can't go above 20, and that's all I ever need to do. And I can do it all at once. Of course, Markus has that nice, shiny 4-mana spell in Deny that can stop the Harrowing from coming down. And Nola knows that, so might have to do more of the secondary game plan. Let's beat down with Threshes. Let's just play Ashes raw. Let's play Rekindlers. And then last case resort, we go to the Harrowing and hope that it doesn't get denied.
Yeah, I mean, this is, once again, we talked about how Zombie Ash just likes to play its own game. It has the same strategy pretty much every game. And once again, it's going to be Nola. Play the Ashes, get them in the death pool, play the Rekindler. Then once it's all said and done, you finish with Harrowing. Now, of course, triple deny makes that a bit harder. Like you mentioned, he may need to try and find some alleyways, some paths to victory that don't involve Harrowing due to the fact that it may get denied. But there will be times where Nola may just have to slam it and hope that he dodges that deny.
Yeah, the Tofarian Gambit is I am definitely making a thing. Sometimes you just have to hope your opponent doesn't have it or contest your opponent to have it. Just play it and see, right? We'll have to see if it comes down to that. Of course, Nola does not have the harrowing yet. So we'll have to wait and see if that comes out. But for now, Nola just trying to deal with the board, kill that bull Elnuk that's generating dragonlings every turn.
A little surprising we didn't see the gem, but I guess it was to bait this in to try and get the Pale Cascade. I assume that was the goal by not utilizing the gem prior.
Right.
So we'll likely see the response of the Pale Cascade, and I wonder if the Flash Freeze comes down to try and make sure that this dies, or if we'll just see the concession from Nolagold and have the Glimpse Beyond as a response instead.
Yeah, I think because the gem didn't come down, right, that Nola has to think that there was a Pale Cascade, right? Because this doesn't make sense, right? You're playing, that's the one of the very, I think, interesting intricacies of the gems, that they're face up, right? You know they're there. So when you can play around them, but when your opponent doesn't do something that's on board, you have to think, oh, well, why didn't they do that? And of course, here it represented the Pale Cascade, and Nola must just be okay with it.
Yeah, it seems so. Deciding that he wants to keep the mana banked instead of utilizing either spell in this spot, not looking for any draws. I guess deciding he has plays for the next few turns that he doesn't need any additional cards, and he can look to maybe generate value with these Glimpse Beyonds potentially in the future to stop Lee Sin from dealing damage to his face by kicking his units into it.
Yeah, that I think is the biggest value, of course, for the glimpses, is this effectively countering the dragon kick portion of Lee Sin, right? Of course, with Overwhelm, you're not going to be able to stop that side of it, but the kick part is at least going to get countered by the glimpse, and that's obviously the most important part, I think, or at least, you know, a very important part of it, of the value of Glimpse Beyond in this matchup. All right, looks like Markus is going for the level up here.
He already has the level. This is terrifying for Nola. Now, we know he has some quick answers to stall this out with the Glimpse Beyond. As we mentioned, he has a freeze available, the Flash Freeze. But this is brutal. It's already lethal presented, and Nola doesn't have removal for Lee Sin.
No removal yet. I mean, this is, I think, just has to be the glimpse. You're only taking half of your life total here.
Yes, only half the life total being taken this time. You could even go for the deny if you want to just try and present lethal once again, but I think it'd be trolling because you could just lose your Lee Sin to a Vengeance. We won't be seeing 4 mana tapped out of at any point from this point forward. Markus should be able to close out just by going through with the attacks each turn from Lee Sin with the Overwhelm, as long as he can keep him alive.
And even has an additional gem and the Guiding Touch, of course, to turn the. It doesn't even need the second burst spell; just needs one, really. So has 2 turns of burst speed, Lee Sin challenge, you know, locked and loaded here. Doesn't even need anything else. Markus is in a very, very commanding spot at this point. Nola is really going to have to pull something out here to turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, now Nola's like, okay, well, do I replay my Thresh? Do I play Rekindler? Do I play Ash? What do I get onto the board here? And it's incredibly difficult for this setup from Nola. I mean, Thresh can pull an Ash, Rekindler is going to get an Ash out, but how am I dealing with the Lee Sin? I mean, I like the Rekindler or the Thresh, realistically. Get the Ash, get another Flash Freeze in your hand from this Ash to keep stalling the game, but this is so incredibly tough, and now the stun from Concussive Palm means that he won't get that additional freeze, so it's just the single one that he has in hand currently that he can use to stop the Lee Sin.
Yeah, notably, there actually is not an Ash in the death pool. The Rekindler pulled
Oh, is it a
out
Thresh?
the Thresh. Yeah, it's a Thresh. So The Rekindler actually would have pulled out an additional Thresh, but I think Nola probably wanted to play the Thresh, A, to bank mana, and B, doesn't really want to use his Rekindler on an additional Thresh, doesn't really want those in the death pool or need them in the death pool, and also would rather have more Ashes because of the Ashes flash freezes.
Absolutely.
Does not need the boxes really at all.
Absolutely. Completely agree with that. I actually had not realized that it was a Thresh. So that certainly makes the difference. And now Markus is just going to be able to block away with the Dragonling, take a little bit of damage if he wants, and then just set up to play burst speed spells again and go for the attack with Lee Sin, try and force out more defense from Nolagold. And yes, we see Nola does have some responses with these freezes, but can it last forever? I'm not sure if that's the case. We even have the potential of a Spacey Sketcher to try and find the spell shield once more so that he can get past the freeze. We saw it happen in an earlier match, but does he find the Moon Glow? And he does! It's the Moon Glow picked up by Markus. Now he just has to put it on the Lee Sin, set up for the next attack, and at burst speed with the gem, he's going to go in for the victory, and there has to be an additional freeze picked up for Nola. No, you cannot ping away the spell shield with the Vile Feast because freezes are at burst speed, and they will override the fast speed spells that you play, and that is just going to be the game on open attack. Markus. Oh, but Glimpse can do it.
True. Glimpse will threaten to save, but we do see Casa that nice, shiny deny if Markus wants to go for it. Markus
the worry is he won't be tapped out of range for the Vengeance. However,
the Vengeance doesn't do anything.
Vengeance doesn't go through.
Shield. I think you have to rip it, right?
You're right. You don't have 8 mana.
You don't have to.
8 mana. You cannot pop this spell shield and hit the Vengeance. Deny is safe. This is probably still game.
Oh, and he even got a Pale Cascade, so it doesn't matter.
Or not. You don't even need to do it. You find the Pale Cascade off of your Guiding Touch. The freeze tries to come out, but it's stopped on the spell shield, and that is going to actually be the game. We said it a little bit early, but it is going to probably... Okay, well, there's Vile Feast. But he just denies the Glimpse at that point, and it should be able to get there because he knows it is safe from that point. We keep saying it. There keeps being the but wait for Nola, but it is in fact the game.
There's a little bit more that needs to be done.
Call it. Once again, it's Markus going in, Warthog behind, flash kick onto the Thresh, sending him into the Nexus. Across the entire team of Nolagold.
I like to think of it more as Lee Sin stepping on the head of Thresh and being propelled up to the the tippity top of Mount Targon.
We are on a journey that Markus is taking us on at this point, but the deny can come out. The game can be done right now if he denies.
Yeah, it's safe. There's not a
well, there could be another freeze. There could be another freeze.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the deny though.
No, it doesn't. And
the freeze can come out one way or the other.
He decides to go on the Vile Feast instead of the Glimpse. But that doesn't matter. He gets the exact amount of damage that he needs to take the tournament. And Markus is the one who ascends Mount Targon and comes out victorious, taking Team Liquid's Ascent of Targon Invitational in dominant fashion, running through the winner's bracket. Congratulations to Markus. And you can see how excited he is that he finally did it. Huge congratulations to this player carrying the torch for Europe and finding the victory over Nolagold once again. He beat him in the winners final, and he does it for the championship. And he gets his place among the stars of Legends of Runeterra.
All right, wow, so there's definitely not going to be a second game. Markus just blowing it up with a 2-0 over Nolagold. good stuff there. Pretty awesome. And as always, amazing casting on the side of Casanova and Blevin. So thank you guys for taking the time to do all of day 2 so that the rest of us casters could rest our beautiful voices. So, but awesome job, guys. Again, all their information will be in the description below, as well as the server if you want to get involved in tournaments like these in the future. This is basically, this originated as Duels of Runeterra. This is now on the Team Liquid Tactics server, which is kind of, it's basically Legends of Runeterra with Teamfight Tactics. So if you guys are interested in future tournaments, which there will be, usually they have some opens that are upwards of $500 to $1,000 for a prize pool. So if you want to get involved in those, definitely hit up the information in the description below. But as always, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for, taking the time to go through all these videos. And if you were on the cast, thank you for joining our cast or Casanova and Blevin's cast or Gems and Sparkling Iced Tea's cast. Always good to have people in chat to give us shit when we get everything wrong. But as always, everybody, stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works for you. Peace out.